Evidence may finally be forthcoming, and if it is as convincing as promised, it could settle the question about Portland's underground once and for all.
Visit to the Shanghai tunnels.
Michael P. Jones is the founder of a group offering tours of Portland's underground and is a proponent of the Shanghai Tunnel theory. He claims to have obtained indisputable evidence of the practice that will be revealed in a forthcoming book. The evidence supposedly consists of documents, photos, and other proof of Shanghai activity. He sold them off to captains for as little as $50 a head. These poor men were forced to work on ships bound for the Orient without pay. According to legend and some historical data, men were shanghaied in Portland from roughly 1850 to 1941. It almost sounds too bizarre and horrific to be little more than a myth or legend, but shanghaiing did take place. It was a practice that occurred in Portland and other locations along the West Coast. What is questioned is the means by which it was carried out in Portland and the relationship, if any, between the Portland Underground and Shanghai practices. The Shanghai tunnels, also known as the Portland Underground, consist of tunnel passages linking Portland's Chinatown to the central downtown area of Portland. The basements of many downtown bars and hotels were linked to the Willamette River waterfront through the tunnels, allowing supplies to be moved from ships docked there directly to basements for storage. Since the mid-19th century, stories have been told about Shanghai practices in Portland. Not only men but women, too, were warned to take care against being drugged or kidnapped and hauled off for sale. Women were allegedly shanghaied for use as prostitutes rather than ship's laborers. Although other ports along the West Coast, including San Francisco, California, are said to have been centers of Shanghai activity, Portland's underground tunnels are claimed to have made the practice much more manageable and widespread than in other areas. Victims of shanghaiing were either drugged, kidnapped while intoxicated, or simply knocked out, then dropped or dragged into the tunnels through trapdoors called deadfalls. Once in the tunnels, they were locked in specially designed prison cells and held captive until they were shipped off as slave laborers. During Prohibition, it is said that taverns moved their business underground, as well, making it easier than ever for unsuspecting victims to be shanghaied. Some researchers estimate that as many as 1,500 people a year were shanghaied through Portland's underground. However, there is no historical record or evidence of shanghaiing being practiced in the tunnels from the time period it is said to have taken place. In fact, the earliest mention of a connection between the practice of shanghaiing and the tunnels dates from the 1970s. Historians assert that even in the event of a massive cover-up effort, it is unlikely there would be no evidence of the practice whatsoever from the era when it was supposedly at its peak. Evidence may finally be forthcoming, and if it is as convincing as promised, it could settle the question about Portland's underground once and for all. Michael P. Jones is the founder of a group offering tours of Portland's underground and is a proponent of the Shanghai Tunnel theory. He claims to have obtained indisputable evidence of the practice that will be revealed in a forthcoming book. The evidence supposedly consists of documents, photos, and other proof of Shanghai activity. Until the book is released or other proof surfaces, the legend of Portland's Shanghai tunnels remains just that, a myth individuals must decide about for themselves. Being able to explore the legend and form your own opinion is what makes the Shanghai tunnels so appealing. One question that will probably come to mind if you visit Portland's tunnels may haunt you more than what you believe you see. If history already confirms that shanghaiing took place in Portland, why wouldn't the tunnels have been used to transport the kidnapped? It only makes sense that they would have been used for that purpose.